I want to look at the slow, almost imperceptible unravelling of the British government under Keir Starmer, not in the fireworks sense of chaos, but in the quieter, more dangerous register of stagnation, confusion, and internal contradiction. It's a story not just of Labour's failure to lead, but of the Conservatives' failure to oppose. And in the absence of effective challenge, the government has become its own worst enemy, and the country is paying the price as a result. Governments require opposition, not just because democracy demands scrutiny, but because unchecked power tends to fester and curdle into complacency, cowardice, and incoherence. If there is no counterweight from across the aisle, then the weight shifts inwards and the party in power starts to splinter. We saw this under Boris Johnson, where the lack of external restraint gave rise to internal theatre. Cummings versus Keynes, Sunak versus Truss, Hancock versus decency. Hancock in the stationery. Oh, let's make the stationery cupboard move. I'm looking for a pencil with an HB rubber. With a rubber on it. So, Hancock versus decency. Now we see the same patterns emerging in Labour. Angela Rayner power plays, Rachel Reeves economic improvisations, the desperate backtracking on welfare cuts. These are not signs of strength. These are symptoms of a vacuum. We're just waiting for our Hancock character who can run around the place with the with the illusion of being a cross between Kenneth Williams and Frankie Howard. But so where is the official opposition? Kemi Badenoch, still preoccupied with self-preservation and her own importance, clings to a fractured Tory party like a captain demanding a better seat as the ship sinks. And the problem really is, can you identify any members of the shadow cabinet? Do you know any? Because they're all suppressed in favour of Kemi Badenoch as if she's something to sing about. You know, a good captain gathers around her a good cabinet, a good crew, and she hasn't. She hasn't. Most of them you can't name, and those you can name are silenced. Badenoch's focus is not on offering coherent alternatives, but on feuding with Jaguar drivers and launching increasingly irrelevant culture war missiles. And meanwhile, the British state is not merely underperforming, it's malfunctioning. From procurement planning, from immigration to infrastructure, the wheels of government are clanking along with layers of bureaucracy, legal stasis, and structural inertia. And I think the blame lies with the opposition. It's not merely about public spending, it's about who wields the levers of power, whether they even know what they're attached to. Douglas Carswell's bleak assessment the other day rings painfully true. The Treasury is dysfunctional, Downing Street is rudderless, and Parliament has been asleep for a generation. We've built a government that can no longer govern. And it may be an institutional thing rather than specifically a Labour or Conservative thing. Without serious challenge, or whether from a resurgent Conservative Party or a new political force, Starmer's government has little incentive to reform. Instead, it performs managerialism while retreating from boldness. And in the absence of an opposition, Labour becomes its own opposition. The disunity that now simmers below the surface, whether over immigration, welfare, taxation, or foreign policy, is not accidental. It's the natural consequence of one-party dominance in a multi-party system. Starmer's centrism masks deep ideological unease. On the one side, figures like Rayner push for tax hikes and redistributive politics. On the other, Rachel Reeves tries to mollify markets by cosplaying George Osborne in a blouse. It's not strategy, it's a standoff. And when you have no opposition from outside, internal conflict becomes inevitable. It was famously said that the Labour Party owed more to Methodism than to Marx. These days, it owes more to management consultants than to either. Mies, the MCEE, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive, is the new slogan. The result, exhaustion, certainly, but no clarity. No clarity at all. So, where does this leave the United Kingdom? Britain, once a global pace setter, now resembles a state in managed decline. Infrastructure creaks, the NHS is chronically strained, the military is underfunded, food banks proliferate, and yet the political class fiddles with acronyms and advisory panels while the nation's confidence collapses. And the public senses this. There is a real sense of pessimism in the air, not the theatrical despair of the people who comment, but the colder, more durable kind that precedes long-term apathy or insurrection. People are voting for alternatives not out of enthusiasm for those alternatives, but because the present, what we've got at the moment, feels intolerable. Without a serious opposition, Labour cannot govern with coherence. Without a credible government, Britain cannot be governed at all. It's no use simply blaming Starmer or Badenoch or even Boris's ghost, which still lingers in the corridor like unwanted flatulence. This is a systematic malaise. A country that refuses to fix its mechanisms of government will inevitably decay, not in a blaze, but in a bureaucratic whimper. If we are to prevent the further degradation of British civil life, we need a strong, articulate opposition, not a slogan on a bus, not a nostalgia project in Union Jack bunting, but a clear alternative to managerial drift. Otherwise, we must resign ourselves to rule by spreadsheets and spokespeople as the machinery grinds on and the lights slowly dim.